You've talked about coming up short physically and how there's no hiding from it last week. Can you give us an insight into the conversations you've had, I guess, and maybe what you've done this week to just sort of fix that?
Oh, look, it's a combination. We review as a group, as a team. We review within units as well. That's the forwards and the backs. And we have a lot of individual reviews, a lot of one-on-ones with the individual coaches in different areas, picking players up on things that they've done well, but also things that, they need to improve on. And so that happens every game. And the players look at their game before the coaches sit down with them. So everyone's had a good look at it. And I think one thing about this group is, they're not hiding from anything. They know that they didn't play their best game of rugby. But we know there's a lot more to come. And it was round one. And the team that won the championship last year, it wasn't till the last sort of 3 rounds that we started to hit our straps. And so it takes time, but certainly they're looking forward to working on some of those things. So it's a little bit of video footage they look at. There's some one-on-one conversations. Talk about it as a forward pack and as a back line, and then as a team. So it's quite thorough. And I think everybody was unanimous in the fact that, there's more to come from this team.
Do you end up changing a lot in terms of drills and training practices or not really?
Look, there's, the game of rugby, the rules haven't changed from week to week. So there's certain things that you've got to do. There's so many lineouts and scrums in a game, so many kick-off receipts. There's a lot of kicking in the modern game. So you got to work on your transitions and you can't get away from the fact that, you got to carry the ball and clean rucks and win contacts. That's with and without the ball. So, a lot of it's not rocket science. It's getting our techniques right and then making sure we apply ourselves in the game.
Just on Jack Morgan and his battle with Hamish Watson is going to be pretty special. How do you sort of assess how that will go?
Yeah, it's a massive challenge, isn't it? Hamish Watson is a fantastic rugby player, and he's been at the top of his game for a number of years now. And no matter who we've put out over the last few years, Hamish Watson's right in the thick of a Scotland Wales game. So it'll be a big test for young Jack, but one I know, as I said earlier, we're looking forward to, and he's looking forward to.
And just finally on Owen Watkin, you said that you wanted him to go away and sort of work on some things. What was it that you wanted from him to sort of improve?
Yeah, it was more around, numbers and getting his hands on the ball more and expressing himself in attack, because we know he's a very solid defender. Probably, where he's playing his club rugby, he probably doesn't get as many touches as some of the boys in maybe the Scarlets or the Blues. So it's been a little bit tough for him, but he's worked very, very hard, and he showed some glimpses in terms of his attacking side of the game when he played at 13 a few weeks back. And, what we do know is when we go down to trainings and the coaches get along to quite a few training sessions, it's the work that he's putting in behind the scenes that is catching the eye. And his coaches have been happy with him at the Ospreys, and we're seeing that in our training sessions. So looking forward to him this weekend.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Hi Wayne, Alex here. Having reviewed the Ireland game, it's probably fair to say you didn't get many decisions from Jacko Piper. Have you sort of reviewed that, and maybe what's your take on it? Having looked at it.
Oh, look, we've reviewed that, and that's part of the review is the officiating. And if we think that there are areas that didn't go our way, then there is a channel we use, and that's through to Joel Jute at World Rugby. And we've done that on the Monday. We got a very, very rapid response. And yeah, I think so we don't need to tinker too much with the scrum, because we felt that we were going well in that area of the game, but didn't get the probably the decisions that we felt we should have. And so we've been told to keep doing what we're doing. So we think we're on the right track there.
So you're happy with what's come back from World Rugby, obviously, because, potentially with the way the breakdown was refereed for the rest of the tournament, you want to make sure you're doing what you should be, I guess.
Yeah, I was talking about the scrums, and certainly we're happy with the way the scrums were going. We think a couple of decisions should have gone our way early in the game. And so if the response back was different, we would be looking to make some change, but we're not making change. That probably answers that one. In terms of the breakdown, look at the speed of ball that everyone's wanting. And so, we've got to look at what we're doing, the decision-making, not just the physicality, but it's a combination of the two, whether we're doing little tip-ons or using a bit of footwork or just running into brick walls. So it's about being smart as well as executing, when we are in that contact area, getting our heights right, our leg drive, and all the basics that go with the game, and looking after the ball when we go to the ground. And obviously we've got guys that come in and clean out, and if they get their running lines right and they get their height right and levels of aggression, then generally speaking, we'll be fine. I think the end of the day, we're only 30-odd% dominant in that area. For dominance for us, it's sort of 2-second ball. So I think the Irish are at about 40-odd%. So, we've got to get those numbers up clearly.
And just lastly from me, are you confident that you can turn that around and fix that problem within the space of a week? It's obviously not a very long time to do that.
No, it's not, but at times a week can be a very long time. So if that makes sense, certainly the players are motivated to, one, put that performance behind them, but they know that they've got to work hard, and they have worked hard this week to improve in the areas that we need to. And certainly they're looking forward to getting back out there. And, that's why we haven't made wholesale changes, because we know that a lot of the players that were a bit below par by their own standards, that they deserve another opportunity. And certainly I believe there'll be more to come from this team.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Neil.
Wayne, hi. How do you see the psychological aspect of this week? Scotland are getting a lot of love, a lot of people telling them this should be their championship year. How does that work in practice for you? And do you want to give them the red hot favourites tag?
Well, they probably will have, and rightly so. If we go on last week's performance, why wouldn't they? I'd be the first to agree with that on the two performances. But look, we're focusing on ourselves, and it's about getting our performance right. Clearly, we weren't happy with last week, and we don't want to come away 2 weeks in a row having the same conversations. So I think each individual player is worked really hard during the week and are prepared to go that extra mile. And we're going to need that crowd in behind us. We look forward to playing at home, obviously, and it is a big help, and it lifts the players. So we expect a bigger performance, and we'll have to wait till Saturday to see if it's big enough.
And just on the crowd you mentioned there, how important is your start there to get the crowd in behind you and believing in you?
Yeah, well, we know the crowd will be in behind us. It's a matter of keeping them in that mode, if you like. And you're right, we need to start well, and we need to start well in both halves. And we didn't do that last week. We conceded tries and early on in both halves. So that's something that we've talked about, and we must get a faster start.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Chris, we'll finish up with one from you.
Hi, Wayne. In terms of Tane, are you looking for something different from him, or is it a case of more of the same because of another good performance?
Very happy with Tane. He's a young man that is just advancing in his game every week. He's working very, very hard. He's a good listener. He's taking on board what the experienced players are telling him, what the coaches are telling him, and he's playing with a smile on his face. He's enjoying his rugby, and he's playing very well. So it's more of the same, really. Jersey numbers on their back, the way we play, outside of the set piece, not a lot will change for Tane or Jack.
Will he pack down at 8 at all, or will it be?
No, Ross has got that role at the scrum, and Jack and Tane will be on the sides of the scrum.
Good stuff. Cheers, mate. Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, so we will